Good morning, this is Aparna and welcome to my YouTube channel. The video which I am going to share with you is a visual representation of the story that I have published on my website. It's called Body Swapping Curse. I hope you like it, and I would also like to tell you that these are the kind of stories that you will normally find on my website on Fridays. So if you are a lover of crime thriller, horror, suspense, science fiction or comedy, you are welcome to check my website anytime. And if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.
In the secluded town of Eldridge, an eerie mist clung to the trees, masking the secrets that haunted the town for generations. Among these mysteries was the unsettling story of Emily Holloway. One morning, Emily awoke with a jolt, her surroundings unfamiliar. Panic surged through her veins as she realized she was in someone else's body. "What? Where am I?" she stammered, her voice unfamiliar to her own ears. "You're in my body," a masculine voice replied from within her mind. Startled, Emily looked around, trying to make sense of her situation. "Who are you? What's happening?" "I'm Henry, and I don't know how this is possible, but I woke up in your body," Henry's voice explained, tinged with fear. As Emily navigated Henry's life that day, she experienced a growing sense of unease. She discovered that this body-switching phenomenon wasn't isolated to just her and Henry. Over the course of weeks, she found herself living as different people, witnessing their lives, and feeling their emotions. Each day ended in terror as she was hunted down and murdered by a figure dressed in black. "Emily, I can't take this anymore," Emily in Susan's body confided in her friend Susan. "I don't know what's happening, but every time I wake up, I'm in someone else's body." Susan's eyes widened. "That's insane. Have you figured out why this is happening?" Emily shook her head. "No, but I'm starting to think there's something sinister behind all of this." As Emily relived her out-of-body experiences, the sense of impending doom grew stronger. She inhabited the body of a young woman named Rachel, attending a local festival. The laughter and music were a stark contrast to the fear that gnawed at her heart. She watched as dusk descended, her heart racing as the figure in black emerged from the shadows. "No, please," she begged, but her pleas fell on deaf ears. The figure's grip tightened around her throat, cutting off her voice and snuffing out her life. With each death, Emily grew more determined to uncover the truth behind the curse that plagued Eldridge. She and Susan delved into the town's history, discovering old records that hinted at a cult led by a man known as the Harbinger. This cult had delved into dark rituals, seeking immortality and power from the otherworldly. One fateful night, Emily inhabited the body of James, a man who had been part of the Harbinger's cult. As she stood before the decrepit mansion deep within the woods, she knew she had to confront the source of the curse. Inside the mansion, a shadowy figure awaited her. "Welcome, Emily," the figure's voice echoed with an eerie familiarity. "Who are you?" Emily demanded, her voice laced with defiance. The figure stepped into the dim light, revealing a face that sent chills down her spine. "I am the Harbinger, the one who harnessed the energies of the otherworldly to achieve power beyond mortality." Emily's heart pounded, her gaze unwavering. "You're the one responsible for the cycle of death and rebirth. You've been forcing innocent people to relive their deaths." The Harbinger chuckled darkly. "Innocent? Humanity's weakness amuses me. They are but pawns in my game." As Emily confronted the Harbinger, the truth behind the curse unraveled. The Harbinger's insatiable thirst for power had led him to bind his soul to the town, forever trapped in the cycle of life and death. Emily's voice was filled with determination. "This ends now. The people of Eldridge deserve to be free from your grasp." But just as the Harbinger's power seemed insurmountable, a voice echoed in Emily's mind. "You're not alone, Emily." Suddenly, Susan burst into the room, her eyes blazing with a fierce determination. "We stand together against you." United by their unwavering friendship, Emily and Susan channeled their strength, rallying the trapped souls that were part of the cursed cycle. The room trembled as the Harbinger's power wavered, and a blinding light enveloped them. "You may have thwarted me for now," the Harbinger's voice hissed, "but my influence will forever linger." As Emily and Susan stood before the crumbling mansion, their eyes locked onto the figure known as the Harbinger. The dim light revealed his face, and a gasp escaped Emily's lips as recognition dawned upon her. "Mr. Thompson?" Emily's voice wavered, disbelief coloring her words. The man who had been a respected member of the Eldridge community for years stared back at her, his features twisted by a malevolent grin. Surprised, "Emily? Did you really think someone like me could resist the allure of immortality?" Mr. Thompson, a charismatic figure known for his involvement in local charities and events, had always been admired by the townspeople. But now, seeing the darkness that had consumed him, Emily felt a mixture of anger and sorrow. "You were the harbinger all along?" Susan's voice was laced with a mix of shock and disdain. Mr. Thompson chuckled, the sound sending shivers down Emily's spine. "The facade of a benevolent citizen was quite useful in furthering my plans. Eldridge provided the perfect breeding ground for my experiments." As the truth of Mr. Thompson's identity sank in, Emily's determination hardened. "Your reign of terror ends tonight. The people of Eldridge deserve to be free from your curse." The harbinger's laughter echoed through the room. "Do you really think you can stop me, Emily? My power transcends mere mortals." But Emily and Susan stood firm, their bond stronger than ever. They channeled the strength of all those who had been trapped in the cursed cycle, their collective energy a force to be reckoned with. The room trembled, the very fabric of the harbinger's power unraveling. "This isn't over," he hissed, his form flickering like a dying flame. As the blinding light subsided, Emily and Susan emerged from the ruins, victorious. The town of Eldridge slowly healed from its traumatic past, and the memory of the harbinger's reign of terror faded into history. And as the mist settled over Eldridge, the truth about Mr. Thompson served as a haunting reminder that darkness could lurk behind even the most charming facades. The townspeople learned that unity and friendship were their greatest weapons against the forces that sought to destroy them, and the strength of their community would forever shine brighter than any shadow. As the light subsided, the mansion crumbled around them, and the curse's hold on Eldridge began to unravel. The town slowly returned to its peaceful ways, as if the dark chapter in its history had finally been closed. And as Emily and Susan emerged from the ruins, their faces marked with exhaustion and triumph, the mist that had hung over Eldridge for so long seemed to lift. The memory of the cursed cycle faded, leaving behind a town united by its strength and the unbreakable bond of friendship.